Here on the YAWG pod, we aim to answer life's biggest questions. Do aliens exist? Is the government controlling us through mirrors? Are gas station TVs the worst invention in human history? If you're looking for well thought out, informed, or even coherent answers to these questions, then you're in the wrong place and you're asking the wrong guys. On this episode of the YAWG pod, we're going to do our official YAWG pod combine in preparation for the NFL combine. We're going to give our everyday equivalents to the NFL Combine's measurements for everyday people like us. We're going to start off with a story from Boone. He's for those who don't know, he's having a child in the coming week, maybe, who knows. And he's been going to these pregnancy classes. He's got a funny story for him.
Let me go ahead and start. Can I be heard? Can I be heard by the mass as well?
Can
I be heard by?
I didn't even know you started recording yet.
Okay.
Countdown?
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
The countdown was there, Boone.
I think I did something weird to my face. Thank you. Like, I was trying to think. I didn't know you were recording that. Pretty sure I just went like this.
Before we get into the whole pregnancy class thing, because this is going to be good, I just have a good feeling. When I saw the docket and saw all the things we're going to be talking about, something just felt good in the air. Like I felt the winds of change.
It's a heavy one, I think.
I felt the wind of change in the air. I just felt like we're going to be smiling a lot. Bowen's going to be bald, extra bald. He shaved probably right before this. Everything's going to be good. Everything's right in the world. All right, so the first thing first is let me go ahead and get into this pregnancy class. So we got to learn how to take care of a baby. You got to learn somehow. You can't just do it apparently these days. So I went in and McKenna scheduled us in. Well, McKenna was like, we got to go in and learn how to like swaddle and like do all the basic little things. And I was like, listen, because she's out here buying thousands of clothes, thousands upon thousands. I mean, I could open Amazon. I could open Amazon right now, and so, I mean, I'm basically Jeff Bezos of babies' clothes. Okay, quote me on that. That soundbite. That
you're buying all of them.
Well, now I'm loading it all here. I'm stockpiling. Okay, just like Matthew and the cheese in the cave. Anyway, so I got all these clothes and stuff. So then we're over here trying to learn out how to do this. Listen, I was fine with doing the baby Yoda route, finding a burlap sack, wrapping her up in it, and let's just go on. Okay, I mean, she's going to poop on it anyway. She's going to grow out of the burlap sack. What are we doing here? So we go to this class, and not only, here's what I'm about to tell you guys. So it's my Sunday, and I've been working hard, getting all this stuff done. So it's my Sunday. I thought, man, I might want to chill a little bit. There's no football to stress about. The Eagles aren't going to get me all anxiety. So I was like, I might be able to relax. McKenna's like, no, here's your 7-hour pregnancy class. Did y'all hear that right? 7 hours pregnancy class. And I was like, oh, snap.
At least there's no football on. If there was football on, I think you were allowed to like sue at that point. Like you were probably allowed to take legal action.
I was like 7 hours because like then it becomes this whole moral dilemma where you're like, McKenna will get upset if I complain too much because then she's like, do you not care about the baby? Like it gets into this whole like it's like you got to really weigh your options here. And so I was like, so then in my mind I was like, okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna learn some things, but here I am praying. Like Meatloaf on Paradise by Dashboard Lights. I'm over here praying for this class to end early. I was like, okay, I've been in some long classes before, some night classes, and I was like, I've been in some long. Well, I've been in a 3.5 hour, 4 hour class before, but they always ended early. So I was like, I was going in with this like sparkling imagination, like this is going to end early. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna end early. They're just maybe it's a joke. Maybe it's a joke. 7 hours, we got you. Ha ha. It's an hour and a half. It wasn't. That's what I'm getting to. It wasn't. It was 7 hours of. It was 7 hours of just a lecture. And when I walked into this building, it looked just like EKU. So I'm having flashbacks, son. I'm literally like, am I in college again? Because you have to go sit at a table. They give you notes and a pencil, and she's like she's got a slideshow projector. She's got the clicker and everything, and it's an older lady. And I was like, no. But anyway, they taught us a bunch of useful stuff. I ain't going to complain too much about that. But here's what happens. So they go in detail. And I'm telling you, I saw so many freaking vaginas shooting out babies, real time, shooting out babies on these videos. And I was like, oh, that's something I didn't want to see. I can tell you right now, I didn't want to see that. And I mean,
how many of those did you have to see?
Multiple. It was like a streamlined fast show. There was like hit, and it was like they wanted to give you like a kind of like a little divot into each one. It's like, oh, here's one with with looking this way. Here's one looking this way. Here's one baby coming out the head first, feet first. I mean, they had the whole 9 yards. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's
that's
so,
like the worst part is what they say. Like,
no,
just watch
it's
that
about to get worse. It's about to get worse. So here's what they show. Oh God, I could throw up. I could throw up right now, guys. I really could. They just be prepared. So, oh God, I just hate fettuccine.
Viewer discretion is advised. Listener discretion is advised.
So,
following description.
So they pull out, like, the baby comes out, and the girl apparently, like, she's talking about it as it's happening. And then my mind's blown. Like, I'm watching, like, freaking a Jordan Peele movie. And she pulls out this placenta, and she holds it up to the lady. And when I tell you, it just looks like a deflated balloon covered in blood. And she's like, here's your placenta. And she's, like, waving in the video. This isn't like, I'm not there with the placenta. This is a video, just to make that clear. But anyway, she's waving it up. And McKenna looks at me, guys. Listen to me. I'm going to throw up. McKenna looks over at me and says, hey, did you know it's like an option to eat that? And I was like,
oh, I knew that.
I was like, oh, you.
I thought it was, isn't it an option to, like, I don't want to sound stupid.
So
not anymore, but didn't they used to bite it off or something crazy?
No,
like
no,
that?
listen.
That's the umbilical.
All of it, dude. All of it. So listen. Listen. So then McKenna, I'm like, no, what
It
did
sounds
you
like
say?
a scared. It sounds like something they would show you for like safe sex, not for before.
It did not. Yeah, it wasn't. What most of it was so positive, and then when they hit you with this, and I'm like looking at that, and I'm like, and McKenna's like, so basically, you have the first birth, the child comes out, and then you got to birth the placenta. You have to. Most moms want to look at it. I'm like, what do you get? And she's like, well, it's like actually it's known that still people do it today that they like will just like take it home and cook it and eat it. And I'm like, no, God no.
Okay, that's crazy. For you to say that too is one thing.
What do you want to do with McKenna?
Don't even know. You'll
So-
eat everything. Frogs.
I don't know what would happen if McKenna looked me in my eye and asked me, can I eat my placenta? I don't know how you respond to such a sentence.
This sounds like something that Alex Jones was warning us about.
Yeah, it
like
does.
some
It
Hollywood
sounds
babies.
like some freaking alien stuff. But then she looks at me. Here you go, right into that. We can dive into some conspiracy. McKenna looks at me. She says, one of the Kardashians did it. And I'm like, no. Everything's wrong. Everything's wrong with the world.
Yep.
I was like, forget about everything else.
What do they
This
think,
is
it
the
makes you
worst
younger,
thing that's
probably?
happened. This is the worst thing that's happening. And she's like, there's good nutrients and stuff. There's like all that stuff. And I'm like, no, everything. So
There's
I
a
can't go
Kroger
into
right across your house.
I,
All the nutrients you need.
Here's a scoop of protein powder right in the drink.
I might as well go to the freaking store, get canned placenta, freaking bottled placenta, get up in here and get some fried placenta chips. I mean, we might as well go full 9 yards.
You can stop saying it.
But anyway, that was absolutely disgusting when she said that. And then they tell me this one thing. They're like, oh, have you ever seen those babies that come out looking like they got cottage cheese on them? I was like, yep. And they was like, oh, well, we don't clean that off. And I'm like, you don't clean it off. And they was like, no, actually, it's good for them.
I haven't heard of that. I've never heard of that.
There's like, it's good for them. I'm not going to show you pictures, but there's like, it's good for them. So we're just going to rub it in. We're just going to rub it in. It's lotion. It's God-made lotion. And that's what the girl does, too. She does that right there. It's like God-made lotion. And when I saw this cottage cheese out the vagina onto the baby, and I'm like, and then I looked at McKenna. This will finish up the story. I know it was gross, guys. I hope that you guys could take some antacids, some Tums, and get it through it, power through it. Because I got to see this stuff soon. Hopefully one day Matthew will as well. It'll be a little bit longer for Boone. But anyway, so I look over at McKenna, and I think I just had I think I had like Dave Chappelle worthy comedian like word to her, and I said, after hearing all this, I was like, when you were a kid, I was like, now that you're pregnant, is it everything you dreamed it would be? Is this what you dreamed? I was like, is this what you dreamed of? Is this how you dreamed it would be? The cottage cheese and the placenta eaten? Because all right, but
All right. Yeah. I just opened. I have some kind of cheese at the back.
Please
of my
stop,
fridge,
dude.
So that just tells
Dude.
you anything. I just opened it. I just bought
Dude.
groceries today. I was putting stuff in the fridge, and I was like, "This has been here for a while." And I didn't want to open it, but I opened it, and it's actually fine. But like, so this is just. I was over here white knuckling at my desk. I'm like, ugh.
Dude, you gotta get that white cottage cheese. What if that's where it comes from?
Stop it. Stop
So,
it.
All right, I got.
Amber's gonna knock even more because we had to babysit this week, just me and Amber alone with our sister's 4-year-old and the newborn, or not newborn. He's like 6 months old. But
You're bad at name. You're bad. You could. You know how much quicker that could have been? My nieces.
no,
That's what you
niece
say.
and nephew.
My nieces. Niece and nephew.
But the ages were important because it's not like you just go over and say, "Hey, let's go play some Xbox." This is a baby who just sits there and cries, and then a toddler who, or not, I guess it's a toddler.
What were you saying?
Anyway, it wasn't fun. Kids aren't fun to babysit, and Amber was the whole time. She's like, "It's gonna be different when they're our kids. These are someone else's kids." And then Boone just told that story, and then she's gonna be mad at you when she listens to this podcast because she's like, "You're gonna make Matthew not want any kids."
No, she's probably gonna listen to it and be like, I was like, she's probably already heard about the placenta eating. Probably already has a 4-course meal
she's told
planned
me
with
this.
it.
I've heard all this from McKenna telling Amber on FaceTime. I've already heard.
And you
that's
can
true.
have like you can bargain though. Be like, okay, fine, we can have a kid, but I'm not going to 7-hour.
No, I'm gonna be like,
class. You
we
can like
have a
use
kid, but
that
let's
as
adopt
like
it, so I don't have to go through all.
do like a 4-hour class.
I'd like to
ACT
adopt too.
style length of class.
But anyway, so the next thing I was going to bring up is kind of like something I didn't have on here, but it was basically like, so you boys have been listening to a lot of Dan Patrick lately, and I was like, dang, I really like how they do something, and that I wanted to incorporate here that I thought was really easy. Instead, like when they have people call in, they can just bring up any topic that they feel about, and then they can just take their hot takes on it for like just a few seconds,
It's okay
like
if
just
Star
like
Wars
how they
2, if
feel.
you'd ever give it a try.
I actually should have. I should have.
Wait. I was kind of listening, but kind of half not because I was thinking of something.
So they will just call in.
Fans
like,
can call in.
They call in and they just talk about anything. They don't even have to talk about what they were talking about.
No,
yeah,
I know,
but listen
so
to what
funny,
I'm.
'cause my dad was just telling me, he was like, I'm about to call in to Dan Patrick when he gets back because I got this great overtime idea for the NFL. That's what he told me. And he told me all the rules.
Your dad's
show.
Like, you might be listening one day and he'd be like, yeah, this is Chris.
I'm like,
you'd be like,
What the heck, Chris? Chris, can you hear me? No, just listen. But anyway, I didn't want people to call in. We're not a radio show, but what I meant is that we can just bring up topics, like just spend like a 10-minute segment where we just talk about random things. Like I got one right here for you. There's a real quick kind of how they would do it on the show. It's like when you have kids, something I was debating. Are you going to force them to listen to music that you think's good, like from the older time, like 80s music, or are you just going to allow them to introduce into like this horrible like Fortnite horrible rap that's what has come lately? Like, what do you
I think it's
all?
important to have both. One thing that's going to be a real
that was
struggle.
the most boomer thing I've ever probably heard. The Fortnite music, that was impressively.
One thing that's going to be a real struggle.
No, that was good. No, but I'm not Bowen. You got to think that if you think that's what kids aren't listening to, you're not a teacher. I see their Chrome. I see my students.
Fortnite.
No, I'm talking about like it's literally songs about Fortnite that my students listen to, like songs about the video
Fortnite?
game or songs about Minecraft. That's what I'm talking about. Those two. I'm not a boomer. I understand. I'm around kids all the time. I get to see what they're doing. They're not listening to like actual artists. Like you, I know what we like to imagine. Oh, hey, they might be listening to the late great Juice WRLD. Or they might be listening to this person or this other person who's newer. No, they're listening to somebody who's rapping about pickaxing someone in Fortnite. I'm telling you right now from experience.
Something that's going to be real
but that's not my point. My point is like music.
Okay.
Is they listen to the same thing like toddlers. I can't stand children's music. I don't know how I'm going to do that. And they watch the same movies over and over again, which is like my least favorite thing to do. So that's one of the things when I'm like eventually.
Yeah, but you could always get your kid to get up watching Naruto, and then they have like 1,000 episodes to watch. You know what I mean?
Like they like watching the same episodes of stuff over. Like when we were babysitting,
they do.
Our niece really likes the kids' baking show, and she's already seen all of them. She's like, "Oh, let's watch this one," and then she just tells us who wins everything from the beginning. And I'm like, "Gee, thanks."
Gee, thanks.
Like that Encanto movie that came out.
Same movies over and over again. I don't know if that's good for my sanity. But that's why
Like,
we're not having kids yet.
But I do think if you have a kid, I'm going to lean more towards you can show them. Like, I think you should show them, like, the good stuff from what you're into, though. Like, don't just be like, I would be like, this is what I'm into. I would allow them to be like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. But then if you can kind of figure out what they like, you can play some of the stuff you like.
Hey, little 3-year-old,
I'm not
this
saying
is
you should tell them
Kanye
to
West.
listen to.
That's Bowen for sure. Hey, we're gonna watch this documentary together. Just to let you know, Bowen's little kid's wearing Yeezys.
I've already told you about my PowerPoints I'm excited to make for conspiracy theories.
But my view on it is probably like I'm gonna let her listen to like the little junkie like Baby Shark crap for like a certain period of time, and eventually I'm just gonna be like, okay, you're grown now. I'm talking like 5 years old. You're grown up, and we're listening to good stuff. Like I'm gonna start showing her some dope music videos. I'm just show her like this is where the good stuff is, and this is what you're gonna listen to.
How was it with your all's parents? Think about that.
My dad. That's what I'm saying. My dad forced me. He had. Bowen, you're saying same thing. 92.1. I mean, classic rock. I never.
Well, no, it started off. It was K-Love all the time. Only
Correct.
Yeah,
K-Love.
K-Love's good too, but
get older, and my dad would be like 92.1. That's when I got into 92.1.
I remember when you're.
But I still like it.
when your parents
You know what I mean?
first
Like I don't feel like I'm being.
no.
forced to
That's
listen to
not.
classic
I'm
rock.
telling this for the good. I just feel like good music. Good music can be made nowadays. I'm not saying anything about like. There's definitely great artists performing now. I'm saying that there's definitely a lot of bad music too that kids just love.
Yeah.
They just love it. Like every kid at our school right now is singing that song from Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno. I know you've seen it on Twitter. I know you have. It's like
I've
whole
heard
song.
it
It's basically like
times because I live with my wife.
and they're like, and like I promise you, somewhere out here right now, some kid's singing. You could probably just hold your ear to the door and hear the chants.
I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, I'm out of the loop on this. I'm out of the loop.
Don't talk.
But
about
anyway,
I don't know what this is.
What I'm saying, I'm not going to force her,
I do know
but
that.
I feel like
I
you
have
help your kids acquire a taste. So I'm going to show her good music, and then like once she gets older, she can go like crap.
To not listen to bad music, but I'm gonna show them the music that I listen to and that I like.
But it's not forced. Like I'm not going to sit her down and strap her to a chair. What I'm saying is like, okay, if I'm picking her from school, we're listening to some good music. If I'm taking her to school, we're listening to good music. That's just what she's just going to be exposed to. That's what my dad never like. Oh, listen to this, son. This is the best thing. He just had classic rock on. And I was like, damn, I like the way that sounds. I like the way that guitar rips. I like the way the drums sound. Or like even when I got
Bowen's parents let us play Guitar Hero.
And then like my introduction to rap, my introduction to rap was like through Mikhail, and he showed me like classic videos with his dad, and I was like, oh, I like that stuff. I like how that sounds. Like it wasn't like forcing, but anyway, now you see. Look how long it lasts. That's the Dan Patrick Show for you. We could call it a segment. See how easy it is.
I do think though you should get like. I think it would be cool to get your kids into like games though. Like I remember my dad was always big into Xbox, so he would play like Madden.
That's my plan. I'm going to teach my kids.
There's a lot of studies on
Easy way to be
that.
like-
There's a lot of
You could
studies.
play-
There's a lot of studies that say like parents that play games with their kids, like the kids grow up 10 times smarter than other ones, like less chances of screwing up when they're older, like all kinds of, you know how it is. You know how it is.
I mean, my parents didn't play Xbox with me. Bowen's parents played video games.
Yeah, Matthew,
with
you
him.
kind of screwed up a little bit, though. I mean.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you're 25, no
Hey.
kids.
I'm 24, no kids.
And you're bald though, Bowen. Bald really hurts you. Bald really hurts you. I mean, it really gets you down. Really gets you down. Okay.
That's true.
But I think.
But now you see the Dan Patrick thing.
Because that'd be pretty cool to have callers in. I think we do good.
So, I think we need to make sure that's a thing. Is like we just need to have a random thing. Like it doesn't even have to be something that was funny inherently that we just.
That's already what I usually do. I just take what callers ask KSR and then I write it in our notes.
Good. I like the study. I like the habit. Okay.
Like the things were like, what would you give up first, and all those kind of things. Those are what callers ask people on KSR.
Next up, we talk about the Batman. Is that what we're doing next?
So when you said, I thought it'd be cool if there was some kind of connection, between Tenet and Batman. But you were just talking about Robert Pattinson. But can you think of any connection between Tenet and Batman? For those who don't know, we were planning on going to see Batman.
There's another
this Friday.
connection.
And Boone was like, Bowen said he had a hot take on Robert Pattinson playing Batman, and Boone was like, no, you got to watch Tenet first, or you're not going to understand. And then in my head, I was
No,
like,
he said
Tenet's related to Batman.
Your opinion won't be valued or something. I think that's what I said.
What's that M. Night Shyamalan trilogy that was?
Glass.
Yeah, that I
Glass,
thought it was like that, where like all the movies
Unbreakable.
were related, and no one knew until like the end. And I was like, is Tenet related
That'd be
to Batman?
sick. That'd be sick.
but it's
No,
just-
I don't think they're related. I mean, they could be, but Christopher Nolan also directed Batman, so I mean, there is a second connection. Like it's like I think that I was reading somewhere that helped him get his role. It was like Christopher Nolan was like, hey, I support that guy. All right, Bowen, go ahead and go with your garbage hot take. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Just tell me what about the movie because I did watch the trailer.
You just now watched the trailer?
It's Batman, but he's got sparkly skin.
The trailer.
Whenever
the
I was
trailer
texting about
basically.
it is when I watched it.
Oh my gosh! So that's the first time you've watched the trailer. For
It hasn't
this.
been out for that long.
It has.
I know it has.
Bowen, it's been
not the
the
new
the newest trailer. No,
9 days.
no, the
When I
newest
watched it, it
trailer.
said
You're
9
right.
days.
The newest trailer, but the newest isn't even the best trailer. The best trailer is the first trailer. It gave me chills in August. It came out in August. Anyway. Listen, I'll go through the whole 9 yards about this. I'll go whole geek. I'll go whole Naruto with Matthew. Okay, I'll backwards run with my hands behind my back right now. All right. Anyway,
Okay, do it.
so what I'm saying is that first off, I didn't even care. Like everybody kissed Ben Affleck on the butt about him being the Batman in the Batman vs Superman. I didn't really like him that much. I didn't really care. Like he wasn't bad. He wasn't great. I grew up with your boy Christian Bale. And so that was a great Batman to me. Like, all my Batman toys were that. Like, that was my Batman. So, whatever I compare to a Batman is going to be him. He's the standard for what Batman is.
I'm right there with you. I agree in
So,
everything you said.
but
so far.
I also, like, my ranking, I haven't ranked them, but it's going to be like, it would be like Dark Knight, and then it would skip down to Batman 89, the very first Batman movie that came out, which because the Batmobile in that, the vibes that came off, like all that stuff was cool too, and then it would come back up to like Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, which a lot of people hate on, and things like that. I remember our argument up in your room one day about whether or not Batman died. Oh my God, I wanted to fight this man. But anyway, so with all that said, I remember
Wait, who was arguing?
me and you, because I told you that Batman didn't die. You said, I've seen it. He dies at the end. He drives the plane up into the ocean, and he dies. And I was like, he does not die. And he's like, he dies. And I was like, I remember tears in my eyes. And I was like, he does not die. But anyway, so.
I don't remember this. I think I block out those L's.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I don't remember.
But you probably block out half of the dumb conversations we have. That's just for the better, probably. But anyway, so I remember being on Reddit scrolling, and they released because I knew the movie was coming out, the Batman solo movie, and before they even hired Robert Pattinson. And when they broke the news that it was Robert Pattinson, I remember I went to McKenna. I said, I could cry today. I could cry. This is garbage. I'm mad. Everything I know, my favorite superhero. Because I'm one of those people who get attached to movies. I was like, this is so stupid. For months, I was thinking this. For months, I was like, man, this is a movie I was looking forward to for like 10 years. I can't even. I could cry. I could throw up. And then I was like, okay. And then I started hearing people say, oh, Robert Pattinson's a good actor. He's a good actor. And I was like, I ain't seen him acting nothing. I was like, I ain't seen him acting nothing. I didn't even watch Twilight all the way through. I was like, I don't see him acting nothing. And then I was like, okay, well, then everybody on the forum was like, go watch The Lighthouse. That was like his, like, a big, good movie for him. I tried to watch The Lighthouse. It was boring as freak. I was like, I don't know. But then I was like, then I started looking at, like, the way Robert Pattinson was like, I was like, I guess he kind of looks like a Batman. He's a little skinnier on the side, but I was like, but still, he seems weird. I was like, he just seems weird. And then I was like, all right, so then it all changed for me when I watched Tenet. It all like people say that, but for me at least it might not change for anybody else. But Tenet, he just seemed like a Bruce Wayne in Tenet. Like he seemed like a guy who could be Batman in Tenet. He was like super chill, super composed. Like he sounded like a guy's guy. Like he didn't sound like I've heard him from Twilight. Like he just seemed like a pretty cool guy. So then I was like, I started seeing a little optimistic, but I was still scared. Then I watched the trailer for the first trailer, and I was like, I'm on board. I'm 100%. I'm 100% on board for this now. I want to see where this goes.
So it was a combination of
Tenet really
and
sold him. If I didn't watch Tenet, I'm 100% sure that right now I would still be super on the fence, like super nervous about this movie. But because I watched Tenet and I saw how great he was in that movie, I was like, okay, this guy's got what could be a good Batman. I'm not 100% sold. I will go ahead and tell you, like, I'm not 100% that he's going to come out here and be Christian Bale on this stuff. But the whole vibe of the movie, like the whole the whole vibe of the movie, like the darkness, the red lights.
I know, I've seen it.
Like
it's supposed to be like the Sixth Sense or the seven.
Yeah.
Seven. That's
So
what
you
it's supposed to be
got
like.
all that stuff going.
Brad Pitt
Yeah,
and-
you got all that stuff going on. Then you got it's supposed to be a really detective-driven movie, which everybody likes. And then the biggest thing that sold me is because I'm a car guy. you have to have a good Batmobile, and the Batmobile looks flame. The Batmobile looks like a muscle car that can break through freaking buildings. I'm on board. Everything they've shown me so far has helped sell it. If they didn't show me these other things, they've helped sell it. So right now, I'm very optimistic. I've heard great things already. So I mean, I'm expecting it to be a pretty good movie.
I have too, actually. I looked up on it. I did too. But listen, here's the thing that's unfortunate for Robert Pattinson. Like, because I saw something today actually, and it was like it seemed kind of cool, and it was about him, so it made me like him a little bit more. But this is the thing that's just unfortunate. If Daniel Radcliffe does another movie, he's Harry Potter. You know what I mean? That's Harry Potter. Twilight, it's so big, and it was just so much what he's known for. I just don't see this little vampire werewolf thing, dude. And he's skinny. He didn't bulk up. I get this is supposed to be like a detective Batman, but I just don't. It's maybe if I could just disconnect it from the Christian Bale Batman and just let it be its own thing. But I don't know if I can do it because that like you said, it's known as the best Batman of all time, and then it's always going to be compared to that. So it's hard to like be like, okay, this is just a different thing. It's a detective.
I mean, everything you're saying is right.
I remember reading something about him that was like, he was like refused to bulk up. Like he was like, I'm not doing it. Or they kept asking him to. He was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying is 100% right. I still feel those feelings. Like that's still things I feel like Twilight. But I will say, I've said it before, like that thing where you're saying that disconnect, Tenet like put that was that like that middle ground for me where I went from hating the guy to like now I can start seeing it. Like, I don't want to know 100%. I can't see it like I see Christian Bale. I can't see it like – and Ben Affleck was only Batman for like 2 movies. And I still see him as more of a Batman than Robert Pattinson. But I'm always on board. I've always been this way. You've already seen me. I give movie ratings not as bad as they probably deserve. So, like, I'm already more optimistic because I'm like, I'll give the guy a chance. He at least deserves a chance. I mean, it's Batman. I'm going to watch it no matter what. It's Batman, so I'm going to watch the movie. So, at the end of the day, that was good. A lot of people – like, to this day, old-fashioned guys that were, like, the first Batman didn't even think Christian Bale looked that good as Batman. They didn't think he really fit the role of what Batman was. They didn't really like how the Tumbler looked or, like, how it was all realistic because Batman's supposed to have these goofy villains and everything was realistic in the Christopher Nolan movies. But so, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still optimistic about it, but the thing that makes me happy is that they let Matt Reeves do what he wants to do. The Riddler is the villain, and he looks super creepy, super scary. Everything they're doing just seems right now. Like, it just seems right for the character. And the biggest problem about Batman that it kind of sucks for DC, it's all DC. It all gets nerded out from here. DC screws up financially every other turn they make, where Marvel is like, hey, we're after, I'm talking about after, and even they fixed the stupid, what's his name? The Sam Raimi movies where they brought in, what's his name? Tobey Maguire. They brought him back and was like, hey, you're canon now. You're cool. Okay. So, and that's a little spoilers for you there on the Spider-Man movie that you need to watch. But anyway, so like everything Marvel does, they go to fix that. Marvel goes to fix that stuff. They go to tape that stuff together. They don't. DC's like, oh, we've had like 6 Batman. That's cool. We're just going to get another one. But like, we know that Tom Holland, like for at least, who knows, at least 6 to 8 more movies is our Spider-Man. Like whether you hate him or like him or what, he's our Spider-Man. So I've always been telling McKenna since I've been a Batman fan or since I've been with her that she's heard me make this rant. All I care about is if he's good enough, let's just keep a Batman around for other movies. Like let's not just do a trilogy and be done. Let's let this guy fight with other superheroes. Let's let this get epic like Marvel does it. Let's let Batman look like the actual front runner for DC that he is instead of sidelining him every other chance you get with getting a new Batman. So that's my rant about it.
That's true. But Spider-Man it's Spider-Man and Batman that are the 2 like franchises that they've been able to just like
and everybody's going to see them. But
well,
at the end of the day, I see if you look at the clean, I guess it's just cleaner. It's easier for the average fan. Like if I go to explain to Patterson when she's older, like, hey, let's go watch this Batman. Okay, she watches Christopher. I'm like, he's good, the great Batman. But then you have this other Batman, and then there's like 6 Jokers. Okay, they all are different, and then she's so confused about it. But if you go over here to Marvel, you're like, okay, there's this Spider-Man, and now you got this Spider-Man who's like in every other fight ever, and like they just keep it more clean on their side than DC does, and I'm hoping DC fixes that because DC is my brand, but at the end of the day. I'm excited about the movie. If anything, I just think it's going to be action packed. I mean, at the end of the day, the trailer makes it seem like the fight scenes are going to be dope and the car chases are going to be pretty cool. So at the end of the day, I think it's going to sell me on that.
I do think it's darker.
So,
yeah.
It's one of the
in
darker
summary,
ones.
Boone has a crush on Batman, and he wants to defend it to the world.